father of Tilutama Sen, who you're going to meet shortly. And he's played a lot of sports, he says casually, but never professionally. But guess what? He's produced a champion daughter, so I guess he's doing something well. Please, Ajit, your name on the chair. So now we're getting into, we've met some people who create athletes, now let's get into the athletes themselves. Right? My next guest is Hakeemuddin Habibullah. He's a former Indian swimmer, specializes in middle distance freestyle events. He's represented India at the 2000 Summer Olympics. Right, he's also previously co-founded Go Sports India Private Limited, and he's now the founder and principal consultant for a sports performance company called Winning Matters Consulting Private Limited. Thank you. Right, so now, are you ready to meet some very special people? Yes? Good to hear that. We're now going to meet the first of them, which is Tilutama Sen, and I'm not going to say much. We're going to let her achievements do the talking. Our next very special guest today is a gentleman who goes by the name of Sri Hari Natraj. And again, I'm not going to make the introduction, he himself. And you'll notice there's an empty chair, but that chair is going to be filled very soon because what would be an event in Bangalore without a traffic joke, right? So we have one of our guests stuck in traffic, but rather than doing an introduction later, let me introduce you to her right now, Manisha Ramadas, who's going to be with us very soon. So hopefully we hope that Bangalore traffic allows you to get here as quickly as possible. But while we're waiting for her, I'm going to get started with the conversation. And really the conversation today, or rather this is an opportunity for you to have a conversation with the panel. So which is why I'm not even taking a seat. I'm going to ask a few questions quickly and then ask all of you to ask them some questions. Who's got some questions, folks? Okay, good. I'm counting on you. I'm counting on you. I'm going to come to you. So great. So my first question, and if the mics are on your seats, I'm going to start with you, Sri Hari. Right? Simple question, softy. Were you always a water baby, or is that something that you learned? And
no, I think I always was, because I started swimming at the age of 2, and apparently I've been told that I was one of the only few kids who never cried. And I would run into the water even like when I was that small without anybody being around. So I think it came quite naturally to me.
And talk a little bit about like how you fell in love with sports apart from just sort of and especially with
So I
swimming?
had no idea what I was doing at 2, so that's how it started. But I think I enjoyed the time I'd spent in the pool, and I think I started competing at the age of 4 or 5 in like small tournaments, nothing like this. But yeah, I think I saw success quite early as well, so that kind of brought in extra joy and extra passion. And I've always loved sports, and being naturally competitive and having a passion for sports, I think just led to me picking swimming to be my profession.
And that's very interesting, Tiludam. I'm going to come to you next because he's just spoken about how it came very naturally to him. But unlike in your case, you tried karate, you tried volleyball, and now you're shooting professionally. How is that sort of journey?
Well, I used to be this.
Tiludam, a little bit closer.
Because of COVID, everything was shut down. That's when my dad came up with an idea. He said, "Why don't you try shooting?" Well, even I didn't know that there's a sport called shooting until I started. So I said, "Why not? Let's give it a try," and that's how I started shooting.
And that's actually an incredible thing if you think about it. You know what? You know what I'm hearing from that, all you kids, is that she's been shooting for 4 years, right? And if that's what she can do in 4 years, imagine what all of you can do in 4 years as well, right? So think about that, and that's incredible. That's absolutely inspirational, Tilakama. And what's it been like these 4 years? Has it been a very intense journey? Has it been something that you just like? I enjoy doing this so much. Are there, what's your day like when you do that?
As I'm the youngest one, I don't have a lot of pressure. So I just do it because I love it. I love doing. I love the process. So it's just happened.
And I'm going to pick on your word process, right? And Hakeem, I'm going to come to you because I'm going to take you back 24 years now, right? What was the sensation when you were jumping into that pool in Sydney, right? When you competed at the Olympics for the first time ever?
Oh, it's incredible. I mean, just to give context, I was also in my 6th semester of engineering back then, juggling the two, and making it to the Olympics was the big achievement. But being there with the biggest names of sport, and my event was also a special one. The 200-meter freestyle was just fabulous, just incredible. One of the most amazing experiences that I would encourage everyone to even attempt to experience.
Yeah, and again, I want to pick on what you just said, right, about balancing academic, because there's some parents over here in the audience as well. So pick on that a little bit, balancing academics and sports. How did you do that? What did your parents do to encourage that? What learnings can they take?
Oh, well, I mean, I was always blessed to have great friends around me. In fact, I have actually met one of my friends from PU College, who, is one of them who helped me balance my studies along with my sport. And, it does require a bit of discipline, but it's not impossible. Because when I was attempting this, everyone said engineering and high-performance sport can never go together. And now when I look back, it was possible. It just required to just prioritize a few things. And I think everyone can do it and should do it. Good education is required. We don't need just an athlete, we need smart athletes. And studies helps you. If you can pay attention, it can really help you.
So again, I'm also trying to play the role of a little bit of a class teacher. So I'll keep taking lessons out of what you all are drawing. Is that academics helps sports and sports helps academics, right? So that's the other.
Just a quick. I mean, if I can request Sherry to stand, normally we don't get this opportunity where they can see the past and they see the current. Physically we are very different, but he holds the national record for the same event that I hold the national record. So but the time difference is different because the hardware is different. But I had to thanks. But I had to use my education to think of how I could be smarter in the pool to still be the best.
Nice. Great, thank you. Just a request to those who are settling in, if you can keep the volume down a little bit, so that we can everyone can hear the conversation that's going on. But I guess I really am in my school teacher mode right now. But I think, Vishal, I'm going to come to you next, which is to talk about, the fact that, and just to take Hakeem's example, right? Like for 24 years, there's a lot that has happened in Indian sport, right? What's that journey like? And you've seen a lot of it, and you've been responsible for, in part to help India along that journey. The government's doing a lot, private sector is doing a lot. So what's that sort of, journey been for you? How are things, how are things progressing? How important is today for public and, private interest, like the government and private organizations such as yours to help athletes that are here, right? And work at the grassroots, and get to the stage that all of these athletes are at.
I love the fact that we're sitting in the Badikon Dravid Center for Sports Excellence, and you asked me this question. There can't be a better example of a private establishment or an organization being responsible for world-class infrastructure that allows us to produce athletes like Sri Hari, Lakshya, Tilottama, and henceforth. So I think it's clear as far as the government and public is, the government is concerned. Their priorities probably are not world-class infrastructure or training, etc. They have the wherewithal to absorb athletes and provide them exposure globally because of, what the federation does. But we really need organizations like CSE, SFA to help boost participation amongst young students and kids at the grassroots and really sort of propel them towards being professional athletes. And as far as the public-private partnership is concerned, the biggest example and the most successful example so far is the IPL, right?
Yeah, and IPL I know, and I'm going to do a bit of an inside joke, but the IPL I know is a favorite for a lot of sports investors. But I'm going to put you on the spot now, Nikhil, coming to you. Is, unlike the IPL, which is at the elite level, what is required to galvanize the private sector into grassroots sports? Right? I think that's almost $1 billion question.
Yeah. So, I've actually grown up in Bangalore and I spent my time all across the country in Madhya Pradesh, in Delhi and everywhere. So, getting private to come in is actually not difficult because what you're seeing across the country is, at the grassroots level, there's a lot of interest in sports. And sports is not a lifestyle choice. And I keep telling that to a lot of people that I meet. It's not a lifestyle choice at all. It is actually a life choice. It is very important for you in anything that you do in life. The sense of accomplishment, the sense of being able to excel is actually very important to you in whatever you choose to do in life. So I think it is very, very important, and as and when there is more grassroots level involvement, better penetration, private is going to come in. There is no other way.
And I mean, I think that's music to a lot of ears, and good to hear that you feel that way. It's almost like market-led demand in some sense. But I'm actually going to turn to you, Sujit sir, because it's about, like he's saying, you almost create a demand for excellence, right? To use the word that Nikhil just used. And I think you've seen a lot of joys with Tilottima's achievements, sporting achievements. She's won the medals. She's her Olympic qualification, all of that. But I feel, for you as a father, what has been the big joy apart from all of that?
Obviously, that she has got so much of medals, we feel very joy about it. But the main thing is that, what I felt is that she tried the art of diplomacy to handle the failure in life. Because many a times when she missed the medals by very narrow margin, by 0.1%. that, I saw how she tried to motivate herself and how she tried to come back again. So I was very happy about it, that at least she is learning the art of diplomacy in, handling the pressure by herself.
Great, and thank you. And I think a lot of athletes over here will identify that, right? Like, how do you bounce back from failure? How do you make yourself resilient? And that's a theme that is constant with any athlete. And I think thank you so much for bringing that up. Shirley, I'm going to go back to you for this one, right? Which is to talk about what has been the experience that you've had through the different events that you've been a part of. How is an Olympics different from an Asian Games? How is it different from a Commonwealth Games? I mean, is there a difference even? I mean, we sit here and watch on TV, but is there a difference?
Yeah, so I've had quite a long career despite my age, and I've been fortunate enough to participate in every single major games or championship that's there. And the Asian Games, Commonwealth, all of them are extremely similar with the way they're organized and the atmosphere that's inside. And then when you look at the Olympics, it's the only place where every single athlete, the best athletes from every single sport are under one roof or in one village. And it's more than just about competing at the Olympics. It's just the whole experience and the atmosphere. And like, I've been part of 2 Asian Games and 2 Commonwealths and 2 Olympics so far. And the Olympics was the only time I got to interact and socialize and have meals with other athletes from the Indian contingent who play different sports, and that does not happen in the Asian Games or the Commonwealth Games. And I think that's the biggest difference between these games. When it comes to the tournament part of it, I think she'll understand better, like our team will, that they're all organized and run very similarly. You might see a few different faces here and there, but after a few years of competing on the circuit, you know pretty much everyone, and all of that's very similar. It's just the atmosphere, the energy, the mindset that people go into it. It's just different when you go into the Olympics or any other tournament.
Right, Tilaka, I'm going to come to you next, which is a completely different question. Unlike Srihari, who's had a long career, he said, like, despite his age, you're probably amongst the youngest competitors in your field, right? Given the shooting, the average age is much higher. What is that like? What is that feeling when you're literally, in some sense, the kid in the room?
Actually, to be honest, in the team, they don't treat me like a teenager. They do treat me like an adult. And
but does it feel different at all? Or are you just comfortable? Is it a bunch of friends you're walking into? Or how does it feel?
no, they treat me, my seniors are really good. They treat me pretty well. So, no issues in that.
So again, that's a lesson there, right? Like, point is, age really has no barrier, right? So it doesn't matter what age you are. Right? You could be 8 and you could be competing with a bunch of under 12s, am I right? And so, actually, and I do see that we've got someone to fill up that empty chair for us. And Manisha, if we can have you up on stage, please. And we've already made an introduction, but please put your hands together. We already made the joke about Bangalore traffic and having an event in Bangalore. So, but thank you so much for braving the Bangalore traffic and making it here. Thank you so much. So now that you're here, let me put you right into the hotspot and ask you a question that I meant to ask you earlier. Is that we were just talking about sort of experiences in sport, right? What was Paris like? We've of course won the bronze, which again, congratulations. We can't say that enough.
Thank you.
So what was it like competing in Paris, winning that bronze? And I don't mean this in a kaisa mehsoos ho raha way, but like, what did it feel like?
So Paris was special for me, and I didn't expect to win any medal first of all, and I just wanted to give my best in every match I play for a single point. And winning medal was really emotional for me, and I was very happy because unexpectedly I won, and it was of course my hard work and dedicated to the sport. So yeah.
No, great, and again, congratulations. And Vishal, I'm going to pick off something that Manisha just said, is that, how do we identify, she said I won unexpectedly, right? But clearly she did. I mean, like, you know, obviously her journey took her there. How do people like you, how do we as a community identify more talent? And, you know, what's the process there to promote that talent?
Well, I think it's more art than science, if you ask me. But I'll give you a simple example. When NBA had first come to India to run grassroots programs around 10-15 years back, around 12 years back, there was a developmental coach who had said that any kid in India, say 8 to 10 years old, is at a skill level exactly the same as a kid in the US. The only thing different was the fact that a 10-year-old kid in India plays around, say, 10 to 15 competitive matches during a whole year in school or inter-school, etc. In US, that number is around 100, right? So if you play more, it's evident that you become better. As far as identifying, say, future stars are concerned, we have our eyes and ears on the ground. You know, we've been sort of in the field for a while, and we take pride in the fact that we embrace non-cricket and non-mainstream sports as much as we like cricket, right? And we're always trying to identify the next superstar and help them become even bigger by providing sponsorship and commercial support.
Right. And Nikhil, just quickly before we go to the audience questions, is, you know, what for you has been the biggest change in the sporting environment in India in the last, like we were talking about in the last few years?
So I think what has happened is that a lot of people in a lot of small towns, cities, districts are all getting into a lot of sport. So it's actually an inspiration. All of you guys being here and the work that you guys are doing, and a lot of people like you know, what SFA is doing is an inspiration to a lot of people down there. And what that does is it makes your funnel bigger. When your funnel is bigger, for him to spot talent becomes easier. That's what is happening.
No, and thank you. And you know, just one more thing that from what Vishal also said, right, is that there's actually no difference between any of you and the kids in America. They just play more. And which is kind of what we want you to do here at the SFA Championships. So thank you for being a part of the SFA Championships as well.
Add to that, like to what he said, there was a time, I think I was 12 and a friend of mine was 11. And this friend is someone I believe to be who was the most talented swimmer India's ever seen or will see for the next few generations, but he doesn't swim anymore. In 2013, after the nationals, where I won 2 goals and he won 4 goals, we were the fastest swimmers in the world at that age group. There was a swimmer who was just slightly slower than us at that point, but in 2020 in Tokyo, he won 2 Olympic golds. And I just barely qualified and my friend didn't make the team. So that's how the difference is, like.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. I think that's illuminating. We also have some really special members in the audience, apart from all the student athletes who are, of course, very, very special. I'm going to actually call upon Dr. Amit Malik, who is the head of sports for social initiatives at the Abhinav Bindra Foundation, which is a partner of SFA at the Championships. Thank you so much, Amit, for being here. But I just quickly want to ask you a question, and then give you a chance to ask a question to the audience, to the panelists. We've been talking a lot about the Olympics. We've been talking a lot about this whole Olympic movement as well. In a nutshell, what is the Olympic movement? Why does it matter to all of these kids who are over here?
Good afternoon, everyone. Can I have one child here? Any participant who want to come? Come here, come. So which sports you are playing here?
Taekwondo.
And when is your event?
I have finished my event.
What will happen in the event?
So we basically fight continuously till we get more points. If we have equal, it's a tie, or the person who's more gets another, and 2 more or 3 more rounds till they lose. If they lose in the third round is gold, or third round if they win it's gold. Second round if they win it's silver, and third round is bronze, but the first round when they qualify for bronze is no medal. It's just like that.
So what can happen with you? What medals you will get? Potentially.
Potentially, I feel I can get bronze or silver.
Okay. And where will that medal go if you get the medal? What will happen with that medal?
It's a memory of you winning to appreciate you and motivate you to go to Olympics also.
Thank you. So beautifully put. So this was the topic I wanted to ask, that this was the dilemma in Abhinav Bindra's mind post-retirement. That all success, certificate, medals will hang somewhere on the wall, in the cupboard, anywhere else, maybe in your school, in your home. But what goes with you is the person you become in chasing that medal. And there's not been thought around it, that person you become stay with you. The medal you acquire, lose, maybe go on the wall only. So therefore, the Olympic movement is looking at that journey, and they give the word Olympism, which is here. All of us follow some philosophy in life. Hinduism, Jainism, Sikhism. There's something called Olympism. Olympism say that all world are equal, and like Shirley said, that Olymp is an experience of being together. All the countries come together in Olympic village to celebrate solidarity of the world. When countries participate in Olympic, they don't have the war with each other. Olympic has 50% female participant, which was 0% more than 100 years back. There are more female employees at International Olympic Committee than male employees. So Olympic movement is, you should search on the internet. Can anybody tell what is the vision of Olympics? Just one line. Vision of Olympics. You can tell. Anyone? Simple question. All of us are following the Olympics, so you can search it yourself. The line is, to build a better world through power of sport is the vision of Olympics. And that was what the word we work around. To take these values of friendship, excellence, respect to all the young people, so that it stays with them. Again, important part. Values will stay with them. Medals may be transitory in nature. And sports is the best way to build those values for life.
Great, thank you so much for that. And you have a question for the panelists?
I think just curious that normally we talk about the stories of success only. So like when I was Abhinav Bindra, what is the story of the respect? And he shared that, this important story. He said 31st December, everybody was celebrating New Year. Drinks, parties, everybody was doing that. And he went to his gym 5 o'clock in the morning of the 1st January. And he was the first person to open the door, because everybody was celebrating. And his coach comes, and coach asks him, Abhinav will start with sit-ups, 100 sit-ups. Abhinav was supposed to do. He did 100 push-ups, and coach said, we are done. And he said, coach, your counting is less, it's still 90. So integrity is when nobody is looking at you. Whole world is sleeping, celebrating, always pursuing my passion. So I want to understand from you such simple example of these values from your own career, your own journey, which are more easier.
I'm going to put that question to Manisha, since we haven't had a chance to hear from you much, Manisha.
So, sorry, can I know what the exact question
Yeah, the question is, what is the story of an Olympic value that you have to share with everyone to inspire them in terms of, like Abhinav's story is, he had integrity, no one was watching, and he still decided that he hadn't done enough.
So, Olympics is that something that every athlete's target to win a medal. Some of them might have just to participate in Olympics is a target for some athletes. And so my first Olympics was like, I don't know how to explain my experience, how it was, because I just had a 2 years of international tournament experience before Paris. and I had one of the toughest draw in Paris, having Chinese and French, and winning against them were at, and that too winning against French in their home ground against France was really something I can't forget. So it was a tough journey for me, challenging journey for me. I had to start training before, like I had to cancel all my tournaments before Paris. I was training completely, dedicating my time to training for whole 3-4 months before Paris, and not skipping single session. And even though after all this hard work it was bronze, I was quite disappointed with that. But still it was quite, according to me, sports is to just have fun first, and everyone have to enjoy. Don't put pressure on yourself. Don't have to go all out. Just don't be hard on yourself. Enjoy your sports, whatever you are doing. And if you have that grit to make it to Olympics, that's great. And winning medal will be more special, and that's how I see it.
No, and great, beautiful message. It's a beautiful message, which is that, play sport for the sport itself. Your focus will get you there, but even the actual journey is enjoyable, right? Right, so I'm done talking. Now I want to hear from all of you. Who's got a question? We'll get a mic across to whoever has a question. That is, yeah, she has questions. We'll go with the lady first, and we'll come to you. Yes. Give me your name and who the question is for.
I'm Anvi Patel. I want to ask Manisha ma'am, what comes in your mind before your match? Do you feel confident, nervous, or what?
If you ask about before Paris, I was very nervous. I didn't have any expectation on myself, and I didn't want to put pressure on myself. And but before my match, I always do some meditation kind of thing to keep myself calm and focus on my match.
Thank you.
Can we ask Tilottama the same question?
Sure.
Well, before match, even I do sometimes feel nervous. So what I do is I talk to myself, or I do some breathing exercises, keeps me calm, and then a lot of self-talk, positive affirmations, whatever. So that helps me before the match.
Thank you.
And congratulations on your medal. Right, we'll go to the gentleman in the green shirt with the sunglasses. So if you can identify yourself and who the question is for.
My name is Sandeep. My question is to all the athletes over here. Now we all celebrate success, right? I would want to understand, how do you bounce back from a failure? Because we have seen all sort of things over here, and people get discouraged, kids get discouraged, right? So we need to tell them a story how they can get back and bounce back and motivate themselves to achieve better. Great. Maybe we can go with, we'll start with you and we'll go in that order.
Well, I think the different phases of a child's journey. I think as an athlete, the best thing you learn is how to lose, because you lose a lot. The more you compete, the more you will lose than win, especially as you go up. Like I've heard, some of them mention, I think it's more about the friendships. I mean, what kept me in sport more than the medals, of course the medals helped, but were the friends I made. So I think the friends I made, the values I learned through the journey that made me more disciplined, made me appreciate things as I traveled with constraints. I learned to value even a meal at sometimes You appreciate the food you get, even you're in certain situations. So it's the learnings of the journey that have been probably more important personally than the medals I've won. And I believe that is what is extremely important. The medals you may not always control. It's the process. So by working hard, by turning up every day, by having patience, because it's not again. And while I've heard Tilottama's story, and I'm sure Manisha herself is young, Sri Hari has also had a long journey at a young age. But you have to be patient. The journey is a long one. So ups and downs will come. And whether you win or lose, you got to love the sport and stay for the right reasons.
So, to start it off, I think what you can identify here is there are 4 athletes up here, and I can say for sure that it has been 4 different career journeys so far. All of us started out in different ways, and I started out, when I talk about me, I started out with success very early as a kid, but then and I always wanted to win, but then it took me a while to really understand that failure is part of the journey as well. And I was just thinking the other day, like, I've swam about 2,000 to 3,000 races so far, and I've probably come first in maybe 200 to 300. So that's like a 10% success rate. So over the past 2 years, I've not had a lot of major wins, and I think I've come to understand that. And I don't expect, and I don't think the kids will understand yet, but you will, and the parents here will. Sport is more about just wins and losses. It's about being the best that you can be. As long as you're honest with your effort in training and you give your best at the competition, no matter what the result is, you will be able to live with it. Because I can train the best way I train, I can perform the best way I can perform, but if the person next to me swims so fast that he breaks a world record and there are 4 other people who are that fast, it is not in my control, like you said. So sport is more about wins and losses, and for me, the past few years, what I've tried to do is have the most fun I can in the process, and I think that's all that matters. It's just about finding the best version of yourself, because sport, of course, everyone wants a career path from it, everyone wants to make lakhs and crores of rupees from it, and when you win an Olympic medal or you're in IPL or whatever, you make that. But there's things in sports such as values and principles that it teaches you that you will not find anywhere else. So I think that's the most important part about sport.
So, as you said, yeah, sports is about winning and losing. You won't be winning as always you do. At the same time, there won't be always losses. And when you lose, you will be having something to learn from that. There will be from the lose you can learn what you have what all errors you have done during your tournaments, and accordingly I always train during my practice. Also, I won't be satisfied with whatever I medal get. I always want to get more medal, even the golds. If I win gold here, I want more golds. I always won't get satisfaction with any medal I get. I feel it's quite bad, because I also have to enjoy sometimes. I have to have some fun, and we have to enjoy our sports first. Also, that's it.
Thank you for sharing that.
I have just had 4 years into shooting, and you fail more than you succeed. So all you got to do is have that confidence in yourself that you can, and just keep working and you will do it. Maybe you might have a bad day, maybe that day wasn't good enough, you did not win, but that doesn't mean you're a bad athlete. All you got to do is come back, work harder, and just give your best.
Thank you. The lady with the glasses in the green shirt, you just get your mic. Your name, please, and who your question is to.
Hello, my name is Anya Tripathi, and I wanted to ask that do you feel sad when you lose, or do you get motivated that you are gonna win next time? I want like everyone's experiences.
So we'll do so that because I'm guessing the questions are going to come for all of you. So we'll do like 20-second responses so we can take as many questions in as we can.
Well, I don't think anyone is happy losing. Okay, at least for me, I would be sad. One quick example: I didn't make the Asian Games team when I thought I could. I was extremely sad, but then I realized that if I had to be better, the only other option was the Olympic Games. So I changed my target. I aimed higher. I worked harder, and I achieved it. So you do feel sad, but there's an opportunity to use that to do better.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with them. Like, I've definitely, growing up, I never wanted to lose. Like, I'm sure all of you don't want to lose. And I used to feel sad when I lost. I used to be more like upset and angry that that happened. But I'm also going to say that there have been times, there have been races where I have swam so well and I've still lost that I haven't bothered about the result. Because I've done everything according to plan. And I felt like I did the most perfect race I could swim on that day. And I was happy with the way I did it, and I was okay with the result. So there are both sides of it.
So I will say this based on Paris experience. In semi-finals, I had a tough loss, and it was very close. I was very sad but I didn't realize that I had one more chance to play for bronze. I was feeling very low. I didn't have that guts to show up tomorrow and play again. Tomorrow morning I felt motivated. It's okay, I have one more chance. It's not the end, and I feel there is one more medal waiting for me, and I went to that.
Well, I would say it's very normal to feel sad when you don't win a competition and you feel angry when you don't win it.
Do you feel sad or do you feel motivated to do better?
Yeah, so you got to just come back and learn from the failure, and you can bounce back very soon.
There's a question here, and then I saw her hand, just going by. We'll do that. We're running out of time, so if you have questions, put your hands up now so that we know you've got a question. And let's try and restrict the questions. I know we want to hear from everyone, but let's try and just get answers from only one of them.
Hi, my name is Preeti Reddy, and I want to ask Manisha ma'am that how do you become so great?
How do you?
Became so great.
How did you become so great, Manisha?
I think I'm not that great. I still have so many things to achieve in my life, but I have worked really hard during training session and I have given my 100%, and also I just didn't expect anything. I was just going on the way, whatever it's coming, I'm just accepting and keep moving forward.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Unnati. I have a question for Mr. Srihari. So before the competition, are you nervous or calm under the pressure?
A lot of people get very surprised when I say this, but in my 20 years of swimming or 21 years of swimming, I have never felt nervous before a race, because the way I look at it is, it's just another sport. I love playing sports and I try to play as many sports as I can. And I'm as competitive in every sport I play. So it's just another race and it's just another sport. So I focus on the process and I just go have fun. And I've never gotten nervous and I'm very calm usually.
I see a hand at the back. Yes, you with the red t-shirt.
So my name is Arna Pandey, and is it fine if I ask all of you a question?
Who am I to stop you? But go
Okay.
ahead.
So I have two questions. Which sport did you all play in Olympics, and from when did you start training?
I mean, it's a fair question. We should answer it.
I started shooting in 2021, and I haven't been to the Olympic Games, but I just won the quota. But I just missed it by very narrow points, 0.2.
So I play badminton and I started when I was 10 in 2015 and I've been playing badminton for 9 years now. And I started professionally in 2018-19. Yeah.
So I play for RCB and I'm in cricket now. No, I'm just kidding. I'm a swimmer and I started swimming in 2003.
Swimming was my sport. I started about the age of around 6, but I just played around with the water for the first couple of years before learning to swim.
You know, you said your name is Arna, right? There's a big there for you, Arna. These guys have achieved great things in sport, but they still have the humility and they're humble enough to tell you what they do. So give them a big round of applause, and to yourself as well for asking that question. Thank you so much for that. Any other hands? Do I see any other hands over there? Right here. Okay.
Hello, my name is Maida, and I have a question. What do you do when you lose a medal or a competition?
Can I direct that to maybe Shriyadi, since you're not nervous? What do you do when you lose a competition?
I'm going to go back to a tournament where I expected to win a medal. And I was looking at winning a silver or bronze. I knew gold was very tough. And I was very sure that I'll win a silver or bronze. And I missed the medal by 0.02 seconds. That is like extremely close. And the first thing I did is I went back to the hotel and went to a shop and bought ice cream. I know the parents won't like that I said it, but the first thing I did was I went back and I had ice cream. And I forgot about the race because I had another race the next day where I also had a medal chance. So I had to let go of that. It's over and there's nothing that we can do about it, and you focus on the next one.
Nice. So be kind to yourself. I think that's the other big lesson, right? Always be kind to yourself is the thing. We have time for 3 more questions. We're going to take you and then yes.
Hi, I'm Ojasvi and I have a question from Manisha. If you had to play badminton with a superhero, who would you choose and why?
So I would choose London. It's a Chinese superhero. Yeah. Okay, Wonder Woman. As a woman, I always choose Wonder Woman.
That's the answer. We have. What's your name and?
I'm Navee and I'm from 6th grade AKITPL. I'm asking this question to everyone. What was your motivation to keep you during 6th grade? Like, what was your?
What is your motivation?
Yeah.
Sorry, for what?
Like how they wanted to continue. Like, what was their motivation for 6th grade to keep them going?
What was your motivation to keep going? Let's say after a loss or after just. At 6th grade. I'll go. What was your motivation in 6th grade?
40 years ago. You want to start? Maybe it's closer to your age.
When I was in 6th, there was lockdown. There was nothing to do, so I was just playing video games that time.
You were playing what?
I was playing video games that time.
It's not bad. From video games to where you've gotten, not bad. Manisha?
So at the time I just started playing badminton maybe, and I was just focused. I was just trying to skip my classes, school classes, and saying that I have badminton classes and just keep skipping my saying that.
It's not motivation. But at least you're honest.
At 6th grade, I had a bad year. I know that because that's the only year in my career where I didn't win a national medal. But it didn't bother me. All I wanted to do was have fun. And like Hakeem said earlier, going to practice was more to spend time with your friends and to be with them and spend time with them. That was like the goal. Just go have fun and then compete. When I go to school tournaments like this, I get to hang out with all my classmates and just have fun with them. So that was the main goal. I didn't really have any motivation that was pushing me forward in 6th grade.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still trying to remember, but again, I played a lot of sports. I mean, I was also doing triathlon along with my swimming. I was, but friends, like I've repeated it, and like Shihari, it was friends that kept me in sport, and yeah, lots of fun.
Is there a question here? Do you have a hand up here? Yeah. We'll get a mic out to you, sir.
Hi, my question is, what is your message to the parents? Often, more than the kids, it's the parents that get tough, and I know what happens behind the scenes. I want to hear from you.
I'm also going to ask Sujit sir to answer that question too. So we'll maybe start off with you, and then come to the athletes.
Oh, what was that?
What is your message to the parents in terms of being like supporting your child through the process as an athlete?
See, I started supporting Tilottama not because I don't have anything in mind that I need to put her into sports. She came into the sports by accident, honestly speaking. It was during 2019 when the lockdown has already started. No schools, even my office was also shut down. We have work from home. So what I felt is that she started loving sleeping more. So previously she used to wake up at 7:30. Now she started wake up at 9 o'clock. Then it started 11 o'clock. Then 1 o'clock. And as soon as she wake up at that moment and she simply switch on the TV, just watch Chota Bheem and Pogos and all these things. So to curtail that time, I said that it cannot go in that way. So I told her that you need to do some physical exercise. And the daughter, they don't listen to their parents at all. Especially in every house it is. But she will listen to her mom, but she will never listen to me. So I took her to some of the shooting ranges nearby. I said that, are you interested? Then she said, yeah, let me give a try. I said, okay, fine. And to my advantage is that, at that time, all the shooting academies were closed. Those who are coming, doing regular practices, they are also not coming because of COVID. So all the ranges were empty, and that was the advantage for me because nobody was there. She was all alone, and nobody is coming, so they have reduced the prices also. So for me as a middle class, I paid hardly in 2021 is only 20,000 per year. So that's how we have started. And then when I saw that she's doing good, we used to analyze her score every day. How she is shooting shot by shot, we have analyzed it, and we saw that she came to a standard where we can present her to the national levels. So my goal was to take her till nationals. So as soon as this, COVID was over and the nationals started, in the first time when she played the nationals, on that particular year she went to the Indian team itself, and she was most probably 13 and a half. So she got a chance to play abroad. Then there were one more competition was there, lockdown was there. So was there with Nicolo's team from refugee to play, and India was around 6-7 shooters. They used to play together. Is a match, and Avinav Binda used to be part of that also. Even he was online at that time. So I saw that he can compete and he can defeat to them because their score was not that much good as compared to Tilottama. Then I realized that I need to give her a gun so that she can start proper training. So that's how we started. And then, hot in the World Summer doing that she will go for Olympic. So I saw that one after another, one after Again, in India, we had some criteria for selection, so this is why she lost by very narrow margin. Though she got the Olympic quota, but she could not go for this Olympic.
Great. So, and thank you for letting her follow her dream, because we definitely have many medals in the future. But Manisha and Sherry and also Hakim, will quickly get your advice for parents from you as well. What do you advise to parents?
All I would say is come back home and they're there to support me. So no matter how bad I perform, they're always there by my side. They just tell me it's okay. It was just a match. You can do better tomorrow. So just support no matter how bad the phase is.
Fantastic. Manisha?
So even if I lose, my dad always be saying it's okay, you have one more chance, which always motivates me to achieve something, at least for my dad, because he will be super disappointed than me I was, but still he never showed anything to me. And my mom as well, she always encourages me. So I feel encouragement from parents is all what we need.
I think the biggest role that parents play is giving their kids the exposure, and I think that's the most important thing. And all parents have to do is just but now I see a trend of lot of parents, wanting all their kids to be, an Olympic champion or play in the Indian cricket team by the age of 16, 17. But they don't really does that. Like I went to the Olympics for the first time when I was 20, and then if you take Sajjan Prakash, another swimmer, he went when he was close to his 30s, and he went to his second Olympics when he was almost 30. So everyone performs at different times, and I think it's just about parents just need to support them, and back them up, and support them unconditionally. Because at the end of the day, like I've said again and again, sport isn't about winning or losing. There's so much more to learn, and I think just put them into that, support them, and just give them the experience. I was never pressurized into performing, or I was never asked why didn't you perform, or how much more are you going to perform. Like we didn't even know that I was going to the Commonwealth Games. Or I qualified like till 2 months or 3 months before the games, when they asked for the details for travel and stuff. Like my parents didn't bother. They're like, you want to swim? You swim. The day you say you don't want to swim, they were like, we'll change it to something else, so we'll stop. It's all your choice. And I think that's the most important things that parents need to do now, and not focus about early specialization or trying to get success out of them squeezed when it's too early.
Well, I mean, I've been wearing different hats. Right now, I'm a parent to a young child. Well, I think one simple thing as I sit today, and I think my advice to parents is be active. Be active yourself. Take up a sport yourself. That itself will give you context to the journey. Otherwise, you're an armchair critic at times to the system or to your child. So if we have healthier parents, if we have, take up a sport to play, take up a sport to teach, take up a sport to officiate, I think that itself will transform the landscape. So, that would be my very simple advice to parents.
So now what we're going to do is, because he's a parent, and the pool is right here, and he's a swimmer, we're all going to go watch Hakim swim.
Well, I mean, I recently also sat to become a swim teacher myself, so kind of leading by example.
So we're going to take the last question. If anyone has more questions, I'm sure the panelists will be nice enough to hang out a little bit. You can come and talk to them, as long as we do it in an orderly fashion. But I'm going to take the last question for sure.
My name is Trupti. My question is for Mr. Srihari. Did you have any pre-game rituals?
So, I'm famous for this actually. I'm more famous for this than for my sport. And that is, when I go to compete, when I was very young, again, parents will not like this, coaches will not like this. My mom had to give me a chocolate before every race when I was around all of your age. And I would not go to swim the race if I didn't get a chocolate. And it had to be the same chocolate every single time. That has stopped now, and what my ritual is, I always pack my bag the same way before every race with the same items, and I make sure that my cap, my goggles and my costume match in terms of colors. So that's something I make sure that's right before every race. And I always overpack. So I have things like, I'm not going to get into all the details, but I know that in my bag when I go to a tournament, there's always 4 extra bottles. Even though I don't need 4 extra bottles, I keep 4 extra bottles. So it's just things like that.
Great, thank you so much.
Did the sugar rush help you?
I still believe in it. There have been days where I have a piece of chocolate, or there might be a birthday in the pool and there's a cake cutting and I have cake. And those are some of the days where I have my best workout. So I still believe that having a piece of chocolate or having some ice cream or sweets before or after training session does not affect me.
Fantastic. You've been a wonderful audience, but we are going to run out of time because I know there's now suddenly a lot of questions coming up. But we'll invite you on stage one by one. You can have a conversation with them. But for now, as a forum, we're going to draw it to a close. Vishal, Nikhil, thank you for being such a patient. On Tilottama's journey, and of course Tilottama, Manisha, Shriyari and Hakeem, thank you so much for being so honest and just so raw in terms of sharing your journeys and your perspective. And this has been from the ground up. We're here at the SFA Championships. Thank you so much. And please continue to enjoy the rest of the day.
Can we have all of them come stand and come? Thank you.
Close. Good job.